Botaji, amigos. Welcome back. Well, what a difference a day makes. I'm doing much better after an 18-hour nightmare. I didn't get an ounce of sleep last night. Let me tell you what happened. Late yesterday afternoon, I came home and I don't know what triggered it, but I thought, oh, I better just check and make sure all my things are in the right place to get ready to pack up and leave on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. Today is Wednesday, so next Tuesday to return to Brazil. And in that studio garden apartment I'm staying in, there is very little furniture. There's basically a bed and a table and a couple of other pieces of furniture and nothing else. So I had everything of importance sitting on that table near the kitchen, all of my documents, etc. And I was looking for my passport. Well, I suddenly realized that I couldn't find my passport on the table where it should have been. And at first I just calmly looking under things and over things, and I thought, well, maybe I put it in a drawer somewhere, and I looked everywhere and I could not find it. And I slowly but surely became panicky, and I spent hours and hours and hours looking for that damn passport on that kitchen table, going under and over everything, into every drawer, nook and cranny, under the bed, in the bed, in the kitchen sink. I think I went through that disgusting 3 garbage cans 4 times, looking for it amongst the coffee grinds and orange peels. And I could not find it. And I was beside myself. Where could it have gone? I had no memory of moving it, or going out with it, or touching it. I had seen it on the table every day. So I had no idea how it disappeared. I even had fantasy of, did someone come in the apartment and I don't know, maliciously take my passport for some unknown reason? Oh God. And I didn't sleep at all. Every time I would try to lie down and go to sleep and say, well, I'll try to find it tomorrow morning with a fresh head, I would start thinking and wondering, and I'd jump up and go look in another place, and I didn't get an ounce of sleep last night. Finally, around 7:45 in the morning, I realized that the passport was nowhere to be found, and I decided that I had to do something radical. Well, I'd also had visions of not being able to return to Brazil dancing in my head. I don't know, I had some wild thoughts like, oh well, maybe this is a sign. I'm going to make a radical change in my life and stay here in San Francisco a few more weeks and apply for a new passport, and I'll move to where was I at? Cambodia. That's right. I even turned on YouTube and started watching videos about moving to Cambodia. Oh my God, flights of fancy. Anyway, finally about 7:45 in the morning, said I have to do something. So I got online, and I knew that there's, they don't take passport applications in person anymore unless it's an emergency. Unless your travel is just a few days away, then you can make an appointment at the passport agency and go and apply in person and get same-day service, or almost same-day service. So I was able to miraculously snatch the only appointment for today that was left at 8:30 in the morning, and it was, coming on 8:30 in the morning. I got the appointment, and it was 8 o'clock in the morning. I had 30 minutes to gather everything I needed and grab an Uber and get there. Thankfully, I had brought all of my documentation, things like birth certificates, IDs. I even had a couple of passport-sized photos, miraculously, that I had gathered all up when I applied for my permanent residence visa in Brazil. So I grabbed that folder, hoping that it had everything I needed in it, and called myself an Uber, and I pulled up in front of the passport agency at Civic Center at exactly 8:30, raced upstairs to the office, got in line, and when it became my turn to get to the window, I apologized profusely. I had not filled out any of the forms that needed to be filled out before reaching the window. I had nothing prepared. I didn't even have proof that I was flying, which you had to show your airline reservation showing that you were leaving in a few days in order to get this emergency expedited service. I was apologizing profusely, but thankfully they were very helpful and understanding. They gave me the forms, said, go over there, fill it out, come back, you don't have to get back in line. So I filled out the forms. Thankfully, it was a total of $225. There was a $60 surcharge for the expedited service. Fortunately, they accepted cash. And they did make me, there was no Wi-Fi there, and I did have to go out into the street and find a cafe. I found a coffee shop, Pete's Coffee Shop, where they had Wi-Fi, and I was able to make a screenshot of my airline reservation. They did want proof that I really did need this expedited emergency passport service. So I made a screenshot of my plane reservation for next week and ran back to the passport office, thanking them profusely again for their understanding and patience. They looked at all of my documentation and they said, fine, everything's okay. Come back on Friday at 2 o'clock to pick up your new passport. What a relief. Thankfully, I had everything I needed. Things like passport photos, birth certificate, driver's license. Nowadays you have to prove, that you really do exist 10 times over. But I had it all. And so I will be curious to see if I get a full 10-year passport or if I get a slap on the wrist like the last time I lost a passport. Many years ago, I lost a passport, and when I got the renewed passport, it was only good for 1 year instead of the usual 10 years, which was a drag. After 6 months, I had to apply for a new one because, all countries want you to have at least 6 months validity on your passport. So I hope I don't get one of those 1-year passports. I hope I get a normal 10-year passport, but we'll see on Friday. Any passport will be fine. I can get on the plane to Brazil with any passport. I'll just have to apply for a new one in a few months when I'm in Brazil at a consulate, U.S. consulate. But anyway, I was greatly relieved that it all happened the way it did. It was efficient. As I said, they were friendly. I have to say that's where the United States does shine, you know, unlike in Latin America where government bureaucracy can be a nightmare. The United States does a pretty good job, in my opinion, of streamlining those kind of things and making exceptions and being understanding. At least at the San Francisco passport office they were. So I came back home exhausted, no sleep, but you know, when you're that wound up, it's very difficult to impossible to fall asleep during the day. So I'm out for a walk, and I'll just have to go to bed early to catch up on my sleep. Then on Friday afternoon I'll go pick up the passport, and I'll be back on the plane on Tuesday. So that's my little update of my mini panic attack. In the future, I am going to be ultra careful of where I put my passport. It is a important, valuable document, and I cannot afford to go through that again. So anyway, thank you for joining me today, listening to my little nightmare scenario of the last 18 hours or so. And as always, beijos, ciao.